Night Wives from Average Joe Sports Talk. And as always, Friday Night Wives is brought to you by Michael DeLozier with Aligned Insurance and also Auto Owners Insurance. So I'm going to let the Oxford, like I guess the first ladies, the first women, like the calendar girls of Oxford introduce themselves. I'm going to start here and we'll work our way across.
Okay. I'm Shannon Cochran. My husband is the defensive coordinator, Chad Cochran.
Allison Etheridge. My husband is the head football coach, Keith Etheridge.
I'm Tiffany Wagner. My husband is Will Wagner, the offensive coordinator.
So I'm going to be perfectly honest. When Bo was like, "Oh, Coach Cochran, he gets everyone so fired up," like I was thinking the weight training coach from Tuscaloosa, and I was like, "It's no wonder Oxford's good. They've got a lunatic in the weight room." But good to know, because then you guys walked in, and I was like, "It's not the ball." You know, I was expecting, like, I was like, "Oh, I love to hear Coach Cochran get him fired up," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too. We spent all of our time watching his YouTube videos," and he kind of looked at me funny, and we're not talking about the same Coach Cochran. So that's my bad. Roll Tide. What can you do? I mean, hey. So, but we came in and you were chilling on the couch. I actually introduced myself to her. So I was like, "I love your house." She's like, "This is not my house." And then I heard you come down the stairs, and I was like, "Okay, so how awesome is that that you guys are friends?" And then Tiffany got here, and she was like, "Oh, everyone's wearing black." It's like up the stairs they went, like we've changed clothes, like
It's like a shirt. I was gonna give me a shirt.
The sisterhood of the traveling shirt over here. Like, I love that you guys are all pals. Then do you guys all sit together at the games, or
We do.
We usually eat together before Friday nights, and Mexican is definitely our tradition to go eat at a Mexican restaurant and then go to the game. Yes.
I'm going to start sending my kid with you. She always wants Mexican food, and we're like, "Please, not rice and beans." Okay. We're at the point where we're like, "Do you want to go to McDonald's? I can go to McDonald's." And she's like, "No, rice and beans." So we're sending her. She's going to be an Oxford coach's wife one day.
Yeah, we'll take
Come
her.
on.
We'll fit in with us.
Oh, that girl. Y'all are in for such a treat. But, so, have you guys always known each other? One of those things, because I know, like, in coaching, like, you cross paths here and there, like, you know of people from places, like, did you guys know of each other before, or is Oxford what brought you all together in general?
Well, I would say that Oxford, like Keith knew Chad and Shannon from when we were at Pell City, and he knew Chad a lot. I hadn't met Shannon, but I knew, like, coming in that they were from Pell City, and so we had that common connection. And then I, of course, knew Tiffany from, we played against Will when he was at Mumford and Keith was at Leeds. Was it Leeds? Mm-hmm. At Leeds. And so I kind of knew about them. I didn't really know them. So just from being here at Oxford, we've just gotten really close as wives do, because we spend a lot of time together, you know, on Friday nights. And then when football season ended last year, because that was our first year together, we were like, "God, I'm really missing Friday nights just being with you girls, you know?"
Friends.
So yeah, you get really close, but I did not know them beforehand. I don't know about you two, if y'all knew each other before.
We didn't.
See, I'd never guessed that. Like, I'd feel like y'all were like, "Yeah, one time we went to high school together."
We kind of feel like that. I mean, we do feel like we've known each other forever. So I guess we're just same type women. You know, all of our husbands are obviously the same type and coaches. So I don't know. We always just click right off. So.
Well, I'm going to date Will. I'm not going to date you, because my freshman year of high school at Cherokee County, he was my history teacher.
Yep.
And we had the most fun.
Yep.
That was the fun class. Like, that was our. So, and then, like, I remember when he moved to Mumford, like, a lot of the boys were very upset. Like, they're like, "Oh man, Coach Wagner, he's gone." But I feel like at that time he was closer to being a kid like us, and now
he was so young.
Yeah, now he's like an old man.
He is. I know. We're old.
Which is crazy. Like, I don't know how he's old, and I'm still a high school freshman. I don't know how that's happening. Like, whatever time warp that is, let's keep that.
Yes.
So, and you were married to him in Center. So how long have y'all been married?
We've been married almost 18 years. Yes.
And then I dated them both. My bad. They got married when she was 11. Her parents were cool.
Right. Yes, of course.
They signed off and everything.
They said, "Hey, that's a good guy. He looks like a winner." And it worked.
Yes.
So I want to know, this is our stereotypical question, but people love it the most. How did Will propose?
He just took me to a spot that we kind of hung out and turned on one of our favorite songs. It was a Guns N' Roses song, and so he had a red Camaro SS back then. He had to sell it to get my wedding ring, my engagement ring. So he still had it at the time. It was for sale. And he obviously had already got the ring, but it sold shortly after, and he's missed it ever since. But it was really sweet because he was playing college football at the time, and he wasn't able to work to buy me a ring. So his dad said, well, sell the sports car. So he did. He sold it and bought my ring.
That's love.
That is love.
That is love. Because, I mean, like, I love you, Ben, but I would have kept the car.
Yeah, it was lucky nice car.
Yeah, lucky for Ben, I drive a Jetta. Like, we'll keep the Jetta, I guess. So, how did Keith propose to you?
Well, there's some history with us. So we met as I was a freshman at JSU and Keith was a senior. And I was taking, that spring of my freshman year, I was taking a lifeguarding class thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to take this class and that summer I'm going to have a job and a bathing suit at the pool. Oh, it's going to be fabulous. So, yes, definitely. So, and I was in a red bathing suit. That's what I was. And I didn't wear one pieces, for lifeguard, every lifeguard, student in there, girls and boys, they all had one piece. Well, not me. I come out in a red bikini. So, anyways, I won't even get into that.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
So he's in the same class, but that class is like a dual class. Like it's for first-time lifeguard instructors. So people that are gonna actually assume that role and instruct lifeguards. And then there's the first-timers like me who just want to be certified to be a lifeguard all out. And so he's in there, and I'm in there with some of my friends, and so we're swimming and we're doing laps, and we're at that point where we're having to take that test where you have to swim so many yards, and so all the guys are just getting it. They're stroking, and I'm like, I can swim just as good as them because I've always thought I was a good swimmer.
Right.
So I'm just humming it, and I'm trying to get there, and I stayed pretty close to him. Of course, I think he was just being nice, but at the end of that stroke or that swim, I'm getting out of the pool, and he comes over and like he kind of makes small talk. He's like, oh, I didn't know you had a belly button ring. I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, well, so cool. And so anyway, so we kind of met there, and that was like our, official, I guess that was his official line to strike up conversation. And I was like, oh my gosh, that senior, he talked to me. So long story short, we dated all throughout high school, college. And then when he was about to graduate in April, and I was not going to graduate till the following December, because he had changed his major from sports broadcasting to coaching and history and PE. Fun. It's still the same brand. And so he took me back to Pete Matthews Coliseum, which is where the swimming pool was at that time, to where we first met, and he took me in there, and it was on Groundhog's Day. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he proposed to me there, right at the pool where we first met, where we struck up our first conversation, and so it was pretty special. It was real sweet.
Do you still have the belly button ring?
No, girl. When that boy of mine came along, I wore it for as long as I could, but eventually my doctor was like, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to take that out or it's going to be really bad. So out it went, and I never went back in.
Fun. And now for the moment that Bo Starkey has been waiting for, because before the show, they're like, what are we going to talk about? And, I was like, no big deal. We asked the girly questions. And we're like, how did your husbands propose? And old Shannon here busted out laughing. And she's like, he's going to ask me not to tell the story. But I'm going to ask her to tell the story. Because we love you guys and we're all friends here.
So, well, Chad and I are high school sweethearts.
Okay.
And we got married when we were 19. And so we've been married for almost 25 years.
Wow.
So I'm saying that because he says the proposal really didn't matter because we've been married for, this long, and most people don't make it this long. So I knew he had bought a ring, and he had been driving it around in the dash of the car, and it was Super Bowl Sunday. And I was like, so we were fixing to get out to go watch the Super Bowl game, and I was like, are you going to give me that ring back? He was like, well, it's in the dash, just put it on.
And that seems like so, I could see him saying
Yes. Okay, well, if you knew it was there. Well, I get that. Look, he's sneaking in here. He's like, oh, she told the story. She told the story. He's looking at me like, that wasn't idiot. He's like, why is she flipping me out?
Oh my God.
She told the story.
We know about the dash.
We know all about it. See, and then Bo missed it. Now he's gonna be sad. That's Bo's fault. It's Bo's own fault. Which when I'll tell you, get this, poor old Ben, like I picked out a ring, like I was dead set on a ring, and then I was like, did you order it? Did you order it? Did you order it? Did you order it? The ring. Did you order the ring? And he was like, oh my God. And then one day he's like, hey, like I've got like package coming to the house, make sure I'm there. So I was like, cause it's the ring. And he's like, it's not, like leave it alone. And I was like, it's the ring. And then we got it, and it was great. I loved it, and like we went on a beach trip, and I was like, "Are you proposing on this trip? Is this the trip you're proposing on?" And he was like, "Tara, my God, no! Like leave me alone." Like, and I'm thinking we're gonna go somewhere fancy dinner, like maybe get a free dessert. And he came down to the beach, and he's like, "Hey, you know Olivia Madden, right? Will you marry me?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, I guess." I mean, I reckon at this point. And then God loved him. We had to buy another ring because the one I picked out just wasn't the one. But I'm fun. I'm a good time.
Hey,
I'm a good time. I'm a good time, and I like to eat Mexican food too sometimes when my kid's not wearing me out. So,
well, she definitely needs to come join our family because we could eat it every day.
no,
And my kids are sold on it too. We're like a family of four that love it.
she fits right in with the Blanchard side. Like that girl, and her pop would eat Mexican food all the time. Lord, her and pop. But speaking of your families, your kids are still little. And let's talk about your children.
So we have 3 children. Our oldest is 20,
Okay, so there you go.
and our middle child is 19. Not a child, she's an adult now.
She's a girl. She's a lady.
She's a lady. And our baby will be 15 in a little over a month.
So you're almost done. Like,
Yes,
you're like,
yes.
hey guys, okay.
I'm trying to marry the girls off and get them all out.
Do they know how to do laundry?
Yes.
Hey
They know
guys.
how to cook.
Hey guys, they know how to cook. They know how to do laundry. What other fun tricks do they do?
They clean.
See?
They know how to clean. They can cook. I mean, what else do you need?
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
17, 12, and 5.
Well, you have a 17-year-old?
I do. Yes.
Stop lying.
I sure do.
Okay, now see, I guess I'm.
She was little bitty when we were at center.
Oh my God.
She was little bitty, yes. You're that old. You were in high
That's how I was like, that can't be right. That can't be right. You mean 7. She's saying 7-year-old. She has a 7-year-old.
school. I have a set. She just turned 17.
7.
Yes. I
I'm
know.
not-
I'm so old.
She forgot her 10 with her 7 ones.
I really did. Man, okay.
Yes. 3 girls.
Oh, okay, okay. And now you, Mama Bear, here, Bo is like, hey, don't forget, like, Coach Etheridge's wife is not just Coach Etheridge's wife, like, she's Mama. Like,
Yes.
she's Cam, the Swiss Army knife's mom. And how, I mean, your head coach's wife, so you already have, and this is why this is so neat to me, you guys all hang out together, because, like, head coach's wife, like, people are already, like, if your husband's great, he's the greatest thing in the world, and everybody like loves him. When you're winning, they're like, oh my God.
Uh-huh.
But if you're losing, they're like, hey, did you know that you're married to an idiot? But they won't say it to you. Like they'll say it behind you, or like you know how it is in games. Like they're kids, they mess up, and there's always that one moron that's like, oh, get number 12 out of the game. Like I'm gonna take you out of the game of life. Mm-hmm. So how is that?
Well, luckily for us and our path, he's been super successful, so I haven't had too many of those. But I will say, if I take it back to before he was a football coach, he was a basketball coach. Mm-hmm. And so I had many of those types of uncomfortable situations where I had to really bite my teeth and just kind of listen. But like for the most part, I feel like as a coach's wife, you are there to be their number one fan, and so you're their supporter. And yeah, we're all human, so we make mistakes. And those people that are not in this, or that are in the stands, they're not on the field, who think they can do a better job than what the coaches are doing on the field. Sometimes I think they forget that they're human too, and sometimes the calls they make or the plays that happen, they're going to make mistakes. But luckily, he's not made many mistakes at all with calls, and luckily the offense and defense, they make him look really good too. And the players, I don't want to discredit the players by any means, but they make make him look good. And so I don't know. Don't forget about my sweet little girl. I
will not.
I have a 13-year-old too, so I always feel like she kind of gets lost in the shuffle because it's Keith who's the coach and Camden who's the football star, and then
So what does she do?
So she plays volleyball, basketball, and softball. So she's
gonna be fine.
Yeah, and she gets all of that from her daddy.
She's gonna make her
not
own
an athlete,
But you had a belly button ring.
I do have a belly button ring.
You could swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a good swimmer.
And I do claim their academics to fame. Like I feel not that he's not very bright and very smart, because he is. He is very smart.
He's
very
a smart
intelligent.
man. Well, he married you, so he's not dumb.
But I always say, look, you might have got all your day's athletic ability, but those grades, that academics, those ACTs, they're just coming from this mama's brain.
Because hey, you can play all day, but if you can't score high enough on the ACT, people are gonna look at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They'll find someone to take your test for you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works. My lady brain, I don't know. I'm totally kidding, by the way. If anyone's offended by that, I'm so sorry. Call Bo. He lets me talk. It's his own fault. He brings it on himself. So, and I ask that though because I know that I can take criticism really well. Like people can be like, "Hey, Tara, like she's a freaking idiot," and I'm like, "You know what? You're right. She is. That's me. I'm an idiot. Like I'm." Whatever. But when you start getting on my people, that's where I start getting. And so, like, my parents have gone to Livingston. My brother plays at West Alabama.
We went to West Alabama. Chad played at West Alabama.
Oh, look at that. Look at us with family in a weird way. With family in a weird way. But they have come home and been like, hey, like, I'm really glad that you're at the game because someone, like, and my mom is so sweet and, like, she's so non-confrontational. And for the most part, I'm a non-confrontational person. Like, I don't want to argue with my people. But if you cross my people, like, and I'm the type to turn around and be like, hey, we're just going to go ahead and settle this like men. Like, we can do this here in these stands. We can do it I don't care which one, but get your bags up because you're not coming back. Like, we're like, get out. So that's what I mean, like, it's hard to be a coach. It's like, I always thought that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. Like, I never really thought about, like, what am I going to do? I did sports broadcasting for a while. Long story. But I wanted to be a coach's wife. And now I'm like, you know what? It's probably best that I'm not, because my coach would never get to stay somewhere. Because they'd be like, oh, Coach such and such wife hit some old man. But what'd he say? Like, well, he said that was the wrong call for the coach to make. So she right hooked him. Like, I mean, but you have to have some tact and some couth, and I don't think I have any of those things. Again, I'll attack myself all day, but don't attack my people.
That's right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you guys roll as a crew, and I feel like in Oxford, like even though it's a big school, like people know you guys. Like I know, like I feel like when you guys walk in, like they're like, oh hey, do you guys sign autographs and stuff? Like flash balls, red carpet.
They wear pins.
We walk by there.
Yes, we definitely did that pageant way. Like, hey, here we are with our entourage.
Do you guys like call and dress the same? Like that's my
we have several shirts that match. Shannon makes shirts, so she makes the shirts
and
a lot, and she's so good at it. So she's our person.
Yeah. Look up Shannon.
If you need a shirt, they are phenomenal.
She can do anything.
Anything you want. Like a T-Rex riding a giraffe's neck into a pool of Jello. So next week, y'all see me in that shirt. You know to call Shannon.
But she did. She made the shirts that we wore to the state championship game. We all went.
The whole staff.
And she made them all. So, and we got so many compliments on those.
Cool.
See, that's the state championship game. Like you guys traveled stupid well.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where, I mean, 6A is big. But sometimes, and you see it at other schools, like other 6 and 7A schools, like they don't travel well for some reason. And you guys like rocked the house.
It was cool. It was
great.
It was more than we even expected. We were like, oh my, when we got there.
Like, yeah. I mean, and I'm expecting you guys to travel well this year.
Oh, yes.
I'm not dropping any gauntlets to any other 6A schools that maybe I'm not picking favorites.
That's our plan for sure. That's our plan.
We're going to pack it out.
Yes.
And I use the word we because I can. I'm honorary Oxford today. So, but that was just one of those things like Bo was talking about. Like it, I mean, and I know that other people like it impressed. And what do you guys feel like the fans bring to Friday nights, personally?
Well, I feel like, and let me just back up. Like, we're both teachers and we teach together at the same school. And so I think with the fans coming in, it shows those football players how supportive they are by not just their coaches, or their parents, but their community. And I think that speaks volumes to them, and I think that helps them perform at a greater level. Just like, you know, when you have your students in the classroom, they're going to perform better if they know that their teachers love them and their school loves them. So I feel like that's the same kind of role with the community, that those players are going to really play to that level because they're like, oh my goodness, all these people are here for us, you know?
Right.
And I feel like that just helps tremendously to know they're supported.
There have been games that I've been at all over. Like I covered games all over the state last year, and like it would take one play and the fans would get quiet, and the kids would they could feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like coaches' wives, it's kind of up to them to still be the ones to stand up and like
Yes.
ring a cowbell
Yes.
or shake a shaker
matter
or
what.
be like, y'all are the bomb. Like, that's okay. You're gonna get it next time. But your coach's wife is yelling
Yes.
at you, will.
Absolutely. I have a friend who went to a lot of games with us, and her husband was sitting in front of me in one of the big games, and I had a cowbell, and I rang that thing so much. He said that the next day, his name was Heath McCombs, by the way. Shout out. So he said the next day, he said, I felt like my ear was still ringing. He said, so I'm not sitting by you anymore when you have a cowbell. But I mean, we were that intense, and I feel like we do a super job of doing that because we're all together and we're really still cheering them on and rooting them on, and we don't get down.
Yeah, we're still there cheering.
Freezing cold, which is what it's going to be Friday night, so you better bundle up.
We'll be there. And
Or
your shades on.
Shannon will
And
make
your
you a
pink.
sweatshirt.
Yes, she will.
Yeah.
She made me one last year.
Pink sweatshirt for
Pink out
your
springboard.
pink house spring.
Yes.
See, I was gonna say save the tatas. But that too,
Yeah.
we're gonna do all the things. We're gonna save all the boobies.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Josh, I can't say that. Take that out. But I mean,
She
it is
said
what
she
it
was
is.
fun. She said she was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So she's just
Really.
fun.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. If you don't like to have fun, stop watching now because it's about to get wild. No, I'm just kidding. I know it's not going to get wild because you were just telling us before this started that you had to pay Cam $10 to run your...
My daughter to church. I'm like running around here trying to get ready. Shannon's here already, and I'm not dressed. I'm still in my pink shirt for breast cancer awareness today. And I'm like, I'm gonna change, put on my
Save
black.
'em.
And I'm like, and Mackenzie's like, we gotta go. I'm gonna be there in 10 minutes. And I'm like, Kennedy, will you take her, please? Just right over here. You'll give me $10. I'm like, really? He's like, come on, some ice cream. I said, there's some in the freezer. I'm gonna go get my own. I said, here's the $10. Now go.
Go.
There's nothing
Just take her.
There's nothing like a
Just
little
take her.
extortion. Like I
You
feel
do
like
what you gotta
he's
do.
business savvy.
Yes.
He's business savvy. And then I know that you two work at the same school.
Yes.
What do you teach?
I teach math.
Nope. What do you teach? Reading. I can do that. I can read. I can't count.
Oh, I don't.
I
I can read, but I don't love to teach it. I love numbers.
really.
Yes.
And I love teaching reading.
And she does a great
So y'all
job
work out
teaching
well.
reading. Yes. If
What
only
grade?
we were together.
No, they will put us together.
Well, okay, so here's a funny
I
story.
wonder why.
Because we'd be a power team.
Yes, we would.
But what children wouldn't benefit from a power team?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Okay,
Your
so let me
child
tell you a
would
funny
benefit.
story.
Call me.
Last year, I did not teach math. When we came to Oxford, they didn't have a math job, so I taught 6th grade science and social studies, and it was a lot of fun. It was great for me, out of my comfort zone. I had to learn. I had to be a student again and learn before I taught my students. And she taught 5th grade, and so here's what I thought. Oh, I'm so excited. They're going to move me to 5th grade math, and she's going to teach 5th grade ELA, and we're going to be together. No, then they needed her to step up to 6th grade because they needed a strong reading teacher in 6th grade, and she, of course, is fabulous in the classroom. So
Look what you
they
did.
bumped her up. If she wouldn't be so,
I shouldn't have been so good in
that's
that.
right.
You have all those
But-
kids be like, you don't know any sight words. When they ask, you don't know what that word is.
But anyways, but we still get to teach at the same school, and we
We do.
still do lots of things together
We do.
to try to, bring joy to the school and to our students. And we're both student centered, so everything we think about is in the best interest of our students. And so that's okay that we're not on the same grade level, because we can still, reach those students on 2 different grade levels now instead of just one.
You know they have 2 good teachers. Boom, boom. Tiffany, I've not forgotten you, but I do just want to know what you two have done to deserve middle school teaching.
Oh.
It's tough, I bet.
I mean,
Okay,
like,
let me just tell you, my very first year teaching, I taught 1st grade. And I have the most respect for anybody that teaches that grade.
I taught kindergarten.
A
no.
lot of respect for you too for teaching that.
Look,
The crying and the whining, I can't deal with. Now the sarcasm and the smart mouth and the talking back. Hey, look, I got that all day because I can give it right back to you.
What?
You know, and I can, you know, like I don't know.
Miss Edge's too sweet for that.
But you know, like I can relate, and I know, and I can talk that language with them. Like, and you know, I don't know. It's just, it's a fit for me.
Yeah, first, I mean, I feel like I would be really well suited to work in a basement alone. Probably be my best bet. Like, that's probably, like, and as I get older, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go down to the basement and hang out myself. I'm like, golly. Wow. But yeah, I had a sociology teacher in college, and he was, man, I think everyone should have to do a tour duty in middle school because that day you never know what you're going to get. Every day is the end of the world. And that has just always stuck with me. Derek Griffey, I don't remember anything else but that. And I knew that was not for me. I'm not a patient person. But that's, I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you're, and that you love it, and that is amazing. And now, Tiffany, what is it that you do?
I am a closed captioner, so I work from home and I do closed captioning for live TV.
So you can read.
I can type real fast. 225 words a minute.
Is that your record?
Yeah. Well, that's what we had to be able to type that fast. That's my minimum.
Wow.
We have to be able to type that fast.
So who do you close caption
Oh,
for?
please tell her, like all these
Tell
sports
me.
games.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I do
You're the
NFL,
You're the coolest. Okay.
Major League Baseball live. I mean, I do it live on Fox. I'm like a lot of the huge games. I'm the person typing it when you watch it going across the screen.
So do they send you things, or are you able to just?
Well,
at
they
your
will
leisure?
send us and tell us like what teams I'm gonna have, and then I just go pull their roster up. I have another screen, and I'll have both rosters pulled up on it, and so I'm glancing while I'm typing. When they say their names, I just look on my list, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Isn't that really cool? That's
Sorry about your dining room because my mind is all over it. Holy crap!
Yes.
Okay, that's the coolest.
I've been doing it for almost 13 years, so working from home.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get into that? How does one find that?
Well, my degree is court reporting, so it's stenography, it's shorthand.
Mm.
So when I was in college for that, the company came and did like a seminar, and I was like, closed captioning, what's that? And they were like, well, it's actually the same thing as court reporting. It's shorthand. You're just listening to it with headphones I dial in like backstage to the TV station. So I have it about 10 seconds before it comes to everybody else live. So they were like, it's the same thing. You're just not sitting in court listening to it, typing it. I was like, I want to do that. So I flew out to Colorado and trained. I was actually like 8.5 months pregnant at the time with our second daughter, and flew out there and trained, and then came back and been doing it ever since. So
Wow.
So every time Will moved with his jobs, I just picked up and went. So we've moved a lot, and I didn't have to find a new job every time. So
That's awesome. And you get to like pretty much work by yourself.
yes.
Like you don't have like have like Cheryl in reception.
No, I'm my own boss pretty much. So it's cool. I work in my pajamas every day, all day.
Living my
Yes, but I look like a homeless troll most of the time because I don't wear makeup. I literally don't wash my hair for several days at a time, but I'm at home and nobody sees me, so my poor family has to see it. But
I do the same thing, and I work out. I go out in public. I'm at Walmart all the time.
oh, I go out
I'm
too.
always
but
there.
when
People
Will
say-
comes home, sometimes I'm like, I'm really sorry that I had this shirt on like the last 3 days, but I'm at home. He's like, oh. he's learned it by now. He just knows that's how it is. So.
Well, I mean,
That's cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys. You can thank me later, but I washed my hair today. First
Me
time in.
too.
Gosh, I don't know when.
And she did. She got hers done.
Yes.
We all got clean hair.
Y'all, I couldn't go more than a day. My hair gets so oily. You
Really?
could like really cook baking or something in my hair.
Really?
Yes. And even today, I had a conversation with
You
my
got
hair
this
girl.
frizzy hair. It'll
Yeah,
go.
this'll
Yes,
hold
it will.
up.
And I just asked her, I was like,
Yes.
what can I do? And she said, well, eventually, if you just quit washing it every day, your hair, your body, the oils or something will acclimate. She said, but if you wash every day, it's not. And I said, I just can't do it. Like, I cannot. Even during the quarantine, like when I was at home, I still washed my hair. And nobody
I
told me.
can't devote myself myself to drying it every day.
That's me.
It's not the washing, it's the drying.
Oh,
And then straightening it and trying to contain this
Yes.
stuff.
yes.
It's not worth it.
That's when Coach Wagner had me. I saw him on the sideline last year, and I was like, "Hey," and he kind of gave me this look, like,
Who are you?
Exactly.
and I was
It's been
like,
a long time.
"Oh, I feel like maybe if I flipped my head over and shook it out and got the afro back, he'd be like, Tara Dawn, how's it going? I see what you're doing with your life. Nothing. Still
No.
rocking the fro though. I mean that, like, see in the end.
Wait, I need to. What's the fro? You had short curly hair.
Oh no, I had in high school I did this nifty thing where I didn't like to dry my hair, and I had like long, thick, coarse hair. My mother has thin, board straight, fine hair.
That'd be me.
She had no idea what to do, had no idea how to help me. She and I was real like, Mom, I don't know what to do. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And so like I would like gel it, and like she went to all kinds of beauticians who were trying to go like, maybe use this Frisch shampoo, maybe use this. Like everyone was just like baffled. Like they're like, what is wrong with this girl's hair? And I was like, I don't know. And yeah, like I would wear it curly and it would like right out. But then because like all of my friends had straight hair, like I would straighten my bangs because I couldn't, like I didn't, like the whole concept of flat iron baffled me. And so I'd smush my bangs down. Instead of having an afro, and my mom was like, "You're beautiful inside." But yeah, Bo and them, they actually came over for my birthday not too long ago, and my Aunt Pam, thank you Pam, brought over a box of pictures, and they were going through, and Bo was like, "Look guys, I found Tara's Josie Grossi pictures." I have the best friends. The best of
It
them.
wasn't bad.
It
Now
was,
look
it
how
was
beautiful
bad.
you are now, and I'm sure you were so beautiful then with your.
On the inside.
Yes, absolutely.
And now I don't even want to work with myself, so that should tell you something. I'm just like, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a great mom. Yeah. But I mean, it's you have the world's coolest job,
Yes, she really
Yes.
and it's at heart, like, cause for me, like I know myself, and I would be like wanting to text and be like, guess what I just heard, and then I'd be like 6th place behind, like, I'd be like, hey, guess what? Matt Ryan's had an ankle injury, and they'd be like, Tara, what are you doing?
Well, I am always giving everyone information they don't care to know. I'm like, guess what happened in California today? And they're going, you know, I'm all, because I caption news for all over the United States. Like it'll be Seattle one day and Washington, you know, like it's always somewhere different. Washington D.C. I do all the political stuff. Like I did the hearings yesterday for the justice, you know, Amy Barrett. Like I was doing all her. So I do a little bit of everything. Sports, I do fishing shows, hunting shows, you know, everything that's on TV is captioned. So the company I work for, yes, is in Pittsburgh. And so I started in Colorado, and then I changed to another company in Pittsburgh. So I flew out there for a week and trained there too. And it's really cool. It changes every day. It's always something different. But I do get up super early in the morning.
That's
Like 3:45 sometimes.
yeah. Set hours, like,
It's real
Might as well
early.
just stay up all night.
yeah, wake up with the sun. Like,
Yes, and I work a lot of holidays. I mean, I'm at home, but I still do have to work. And then every Sunday I have to work. So I mean, it's got its pros and cons.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like on Christmas, like I'd like to be able to put my headphones on and be like, "Mommy's working." At work, I can't hear you. I would love that. I do that anyway. I'm working on what? Work. Like, you work with an elderly couple. Like I'm working. It works, I reckon. But I'm going to go ahead because I know now I gotta get you home. And I do want you to tell everyone what color your hair was during quarantine.
Oh, so funny story. I have a real love for the color green. Yeah, I don't know.
Green.
And everybody knows it. And my students like have this tally chart going in how many days I'm going to wear green in. And so far, I've worn green every single day. Some form of green, and they know it. And so now I'm like, oh gosh. And I do have a lot of green. But I'm like starting to stress, like I'm going to run out of green. And now they're going to be disappointed if I come in like a different color. Anyway, so during the quarantine, I was out of school. I was, of course, Zooming in with my students, but I was still at home. So I just thought, you know what? This would be kind of neat. I think I'll get my hair colored green. So I got like this ombre look of green, and it was fun. And I did it, I guess, twice. And so The first time I did a little bit subdued, and the first time I did it kind of just very faint, and then the second time I went a little bit bolder, and it was a lot more noticeable. And wait, hey, look, say hey, Jules.
There's Coach
Say
Wagon.
hey up there. That's Jules. That's the baby wagon. But the funny thing is, I had to teach summer school, so I opted to teach summer school for 2 weeks, and so then I had to go in. And so, like, when the kids' parents would come through the car line to pick them up from summer school, they'd be like, "Is your hair green?" I'd be like, "Yes, ma'am." And she'd be like, "This is so cool." I was like, "Okay." Whew. But then when I started back to school as a traditional teacher, so I go 5 days a week, I thought I should follow the dress code policy and no funny shades of hair. So now it's just brown.
Tell her the question I asked you at one of the volleyball games.
Oh gosh, what question?
About green, about your favorite color.
Oh yeah.
Our girls played volleyball on the same team, so we were sitting there one day and I said, "So do you have like another favorite color, or is it just green?" And she was like, I don't know. Okay, you answered my question.
All right, that's a good enough question. So what's your favorite color?
Green.
Yours is
But
green
Hope's
too?
Bluff. I went to Hope's Bluff,
Okay.
so green and white was
My
it was-
favorite thing to do is to call Buddy Ford, shameless plug, "Hey Buddy," and he'll go, "Hello," and I go, "Hey Buddy, what's your favorite color?" And he's like, Kelly green."
green and white. Yep.
Ridiculous. And what's your favorite color?
Pink.
Oh, pink. So green, pink. I'm gonna go red because I know everyone's dying to know. Red for me. Red for the Falcons. Adios, Stan Quinn. Did you close caption that?
No.
Oh man, that would've been awesome.
That would
I'd been
be,
like, sign my
yes.
hat. I don't have one. I'm gonna buy one. Sign.
Oh no. It would be.
I'm going to go ahead though, because I know you've got to get, like, everyone has lives, but I want to know what is a piece of information that each of you would give to coaches' wives. Just, I mean, and I love to ask this question because you will get answers as far as, like, Rachel Smith was like, "Well, I tell them to get the toolbox. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to do some things on your own." And and I've had, like, Laura Ellen, like, I love Laura Ellen from Etowah. "Hey girl," she's like, you just gotta stand with them, like, be their number one fan. I think that was Lauren's too. Like, I mean, they all have their own little twist on it. Even if it's the same thing, it's a different thing. So I'm going to go left to right because that is how you read. Left to right.
That's right.
Reading
Thank you.
plug right there.
Shameless reading plug.
I think just finding your community, kind of like we talked about with, because you just really, nobody else understands it except other coaches' wives or coaches' kids that grew up in that lifestyle. And so, I mean, over this whole coaching journey, I've always reached out to the coaches' wives because I know they get it, they'll let me vent, they can vent, and we just totally connect on that. And we can celebrate together on the highs and then be, you know, sad together on the low times, because there's obviously going to be both during coaching. So yeah, I think just find your people and don't be afraid at any school to reach out, even the young new wives, you know, just try to connect with the other coaches' wives.
Well, I'm not gonna find a toolbox. You don't want me to fix it, because if I fix it, it's just gonna be worse when he has to come home and repair it anyway. It's just gonna be broke. But my thing is, like, for me, for just anybody who's gonna marry a coach or is currently a coach's wife, just to be there, be supportive, be all in, like, go to every event. I remember when Camden was like 1 month old, like, it was in the heat of basketball for Keith, and so I just put him in that little pumpkin carrier or whatever, the infant carrier, and I just took him with me to the basketball games. And, you know, back then I don't know, I don't worry about germs because I'm around people and I'm a hugger, and so I don't fear germs. But I just always wanted to be where he was and be present and in his life there, because that takes so much of his life. And so I wanted to make sure that I was a part of whatever it was that he was doing. And even now, like, I go and I'm going to be at the football games, or if they're playing basketball, I'm going to go be at the basketball games just to support those players and those people that mean so much to him, because, you know, they're a part of our family. Because, you know, it's like he has a son, but those football players are also his sons, because he spends just as much time with them. Well, sometimes more, well, not necessarily now because Camden is there too, but before, when Camden was little and he wasn't there at practice with him and he was at home with me, you know, he was spending more time with those kids, those boys, than he was his own son. So, you know, they became like his son. So I just wanted, you know, those people that are important to him, I wanted to also feel like I felt like they were important as well. So as a coach's wife, I just think it's real important for you as a wife to make sure you love those kids just like he does, and to be there to support him through that.
Absolutely. I think that is a very important thing, is to support those boys and for them to be a part of your life too. We try to have the defense over as much as possible, especially when there's a big shutout. And they have their favorite things that they want me to cook for them,
Which is everything, because she said it's good.
and so we love to have them over, and being there for our husbands. Absolutely be there to support them, because it's so hard on them, win or lose. You know, especially when they lose, it's hard. But I agree with Allison of trying to be there for everything. Our girls are 17 months apart, and I remember carrying one on one hip and the other in the car seat up the stands. But also, don't be hard on yourself if you can't make it there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things are going to come up. Like, we had a daughter that cheered at a different school, so I would try to split my time between their games. So sometimes you don't feel good. Sometimes you're tired because you had a rough week. You know, sometimes things are going to come up, so don't beat yourself up for that. Mm-hmm. And we have an agreement in our house that win or lose, Saturday, Dad's mood cannot be affected on Saturday. So win or lose, no matter what happens Friday night, he's our Saturday, and we do what Mama wants.
I like that.
Because we all know a happy wife is a happy wife.
That's very true.
And that's been years of, you know, you just learn what works for your family, you know, throughout the years. And that's what works for us.
All I heard was 17 months apart, and I was like,
ooh. And it's hard when they're little. It's hard.
Yeah.
When they're little.
oh yeah, man. I'm already impressed, but now I'm like super impressed. And I'm impressed that like you got them all grown now too. Like, it's like,
just can't get them married off, guys. They're really pretty.
they can cook, they can clean, they're beautiful. You got a picture? You got some water?
Oh, they're gorgeous. Like, for real.
On my phone,
we'll post some pictures.
Yeah.
They won't be embarrassed by that at all.
Post their Snapchat code or something.
Oh, yes.
You should do that. And I do have one more question. What does a Friday night routine look like for you? And I'm going to start back down here because, again, left, right,
That's
straight,
right. That's right.
Unless are there places where you read right to left?
No.
Okay, well, see then, don't do that. Duh.
What did you ask?
What's your Friday night routine? Like, do you have any ritual? Okay, I'll change that too. Do you have any rituals, like any juju kind of, like I have to wear this specific, I'm going to say bracelet. I was going to say underwear. I'm going to say bracelet.
I don't have anything.
No,
my husband is so superstitious though. Like, the night before the game, he's like, it's not black underwear, my Grace did. You know, he's got everything now. It's even down to his mask. It's like everything has, I'm like, yes, it's all clean. It's all ready to go, because it has to be the same. And he will do that the whole season.
Well, it's the butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
That
I
one little
don't
ripple.
really care. I'll just wear whatever and go.
Whatever Shannon makes you.
Yeah.
Shannon makes shirts.
And she cooks.
And she cooks.
She caters too.
Yes, she has a catering business, and it's phenomenal. I went
Okay.
to a wedding that
All.
she catered, and it was
You catered a wedding?
She makes
She does
twice
lots of
baked
weddings.
potatoes. They're divine.
I'm having a wedding and I love potatoes.
Yes.
Oh, these are the divine.
Oh, did you bring any food?
I didn't bring any food. Allison, where's the food?
Next
Oh,
time.
I'm sorry. Look, I didn't really eat. So
She's
And
gonna
this
wear her belly button ring again.
this is the funny plug. One time somebody asked Camden, he went to spend the night with some friends, and I said, well, what do you eat? What does your mom cook, y'all? My mom, she's a drive-thru mom. And they were like, so I just tell her I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A or wherever, and we just drive through. I said, well, at least he's fed. I mean, I'm not starving him.
Chick-fil-A's the Lord's chicken.
That's right.
Pre-blessed and everything, so they can just go straight to eat.
So that is now my claim to fame. When people say, what do you cook? I said, I don't cook. I'm a drive-thru mom. I'll drive you anywhere you want to go.
I feel like I need to introduce you to my mom, and I can just whip our children through the local eateries. Just put them out at the curb and be like, go in, call me when you're done. My mom too does not eat. Oh, well, you know. I will say my first husband was like, do you know how to cook? And I was like, popcorn and Tostinos, party pizzas.
That is about what I could cook.
That's what we lived off of. And then he kind of forced me to learn how to cook. And now I'm like, I love to cook, but I hate to bake. Baking is...
Oh, I love baking too.
No, it's too much work. Well, it's the whole having to scoop out and then wait, and then I don't have patience. That patience thing gets me in a lot of areas of life.
You should probably do like a cooking show.
My mom's a baker.
That would be so
do a cooking show.
Y'all could do. Me and Tiffany can be the taste testers for y'all.
Let's do that.
And y'all can
Plan
cook.
it. Okay, let's do it. Friday night chefs. Let's do it. Put that on the books, guys. It's coming because I love to cook. So do you have
just volunteered to do that.
Yeah, but you're excited.
Yes, I am. I'm very excited.
You know what you should do? You should bring your daughters as lovely assistants.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Told you I'm a good time.
Definitely. You are. I agree.
So do you have any rituals?
I don't really have any rituals. Like, you know, as far as like, we tend to always eat Mexican. Like, ever since we've been here, we've eaten Mexican. I think a couple times when we went on the road, we would eat somewhere different. But for the most part, we always eat Mexican on a Friday night. We always sit kind of in the same section, and we're all kind of clustered together, unless, you know, sometimes we bring family, and so we don't get to sit as tight, but we're all still right there in that same area. After the games, we go down and see our husbands. It's kind of take pictures. We always take pictures, you know, with the players, with the wives, with their families. And I love pictures, so that's a big thing for me. And this year has been a little bit more difficult because of quarantine or COVID, and they won't let us go into the field. So now you have to capture the kids or the football players on the field, and your husband over there off to the side. Because I love pictures. Like, I love going and hugging the players and seeing them and congratulating them and just, you know, showing them that you're there and supporting them. And so that's been more of a challenge. But that is, to me, I guess, the biggest routine. Like, I'm always going to go and see my husband and my son and those players after the game, hug them, take pictures, you know, and just that's kind of my thing.
I love it. Now I need you, please tell me that please tell me I'm not the only weirdo that has to wear the same thing on a Friday night. Besides Will.
Yes.
Now Chad he's down to the same pants, you know, all of that. And he got his beard trimmed one Friday, and then they lost, and so like we're not doing that again.
Yes.
Trimmed. That's just, we're gonna be a grizzly bear through the season. So he's that way. Now I am now if I wore a shirt and we lost, and maybe I wore it again and it was a close game or we lost, like, I won't wear it again.
Ditch it.
I also, if we're if we're watching a game and we're doing really, like, I don't want to move seats. I have a really good friend, and her son was a senior last year, and so I would try to split my time with her and sitting with the coaches' wives. And it was one away game last year. I don't remember what it was. We didn't play so great in the first half, and I went to see her at halftime, and well, we were talking, and it started back, and we were doing really well, and I was like, I can't come back. I'm staying right here. We won the game. So, no, but yes to a certain extent.
I mean, not in a weird way, but if you're ever at Piedmont and Rhonda Blanchard is standing in the bathroom not doing anything, just standing there, it's because we're winning, and she's scared to come out. Like, and my mother has spent games in the bathroom, like, and stuck her head out, and then they're like, oh, can't go back out there yet? Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yeah, see, y'all think I'm weird. But, well, I appreciate you ladies so much. I'm letting you go now for real. Thank you for having us to your home.
Absolutely.
We are in the Etheridges, like, we're in their digs, y'all. Like, we'll get an MTV Cribs thing going next time. But you guys have just witnessed the latest Friday Night Wives with the Calendar Girls of Oxford. And again, this is brought to you by Aligned Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. And when you're looking for that on Facebook, look for the handsome man in a suit. That's DeLozier. He's known me my whole life, so that's not even a creepy pickup line. Like, just DeLozier. And you guys have a great night. Bye, guys.
Bye.